Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerman back once again. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to be talking about a website by the name of MeetMe.com. A number of you may have heard of it. It was formerly MyYearbook.com, and it is a place, a website you can go to, and you can meet people on there. When I first created an account on it. It was in 2010. One of the things I really liked about it was the fact it had games on it and it had been formerly named MyYearbook.com. Now, the games were one of the things for me that were very enticing and alluring. I loved to play. Letterbox was on there, and many of you that have gone on that site and have an account and were on there during the times they had the games may have remembered it. Basically, they gave you a bunch of letters, and you would form as many words as you can with it, and you would be playing with other people. And I thought it was something that was really one of the reasons that gave me incentive to go on the site. And they had all kinds of other games. They had I believe there was a bowling game I liked to play. There was Mosquito Mayhem, and they had a multitude of games, and that was really one of the things I really liked about it. And the thing about it is, it seemed like shortly after they changed their name to MeetMe.com from MyYearbook.com, this was in 2012, they had eliminated the games. I think they eliminated the games somewhere around 2 years ago, but I can't remember precisely. Now, what I'd like to say is that I think a lot of people that go on there, okay, they go on there, some of them have these big grandiose hopes that they're going to meet the love of their life. And I don't want to sound pessimistic or negative, but if you're going on there for that, I think the percentages say you probably won't meet that person. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are people that are on there that have met a significant other, that have gone out and dated decent people that are scrupulous, upright, that they're not depraved or perverted. Now, a lot of I think what I'm saying is, if you're going on that site, keep in mind that majority, at least in my experience, majority of the friends you acquire can be very superficial in terms of the friendships you have. Now, I have somewhere around 1,400 friends on there, and I have not met any of them. That is a fact. Now, I'm not saying everything's all the website's fault or those people's fault, and I'm not to blame for this. Perhaps I could have been a little bit more assertive and aggressive, maybe in pursuing a woman on there, and in terms of maybe possibly going out with that woman, but it just hasn't happened for whatever reason. So you have to be careful too that they also, as I stated before, you're going to run into some people that are the pervs, people that maybe a little bit on the depraved side. I've seen some really bizarre questions that have been asked to people before, that the questions were so repugnant I don't even want to repeat them. But you have to remember, you're going to get your debased types. You're going to find some people on there. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people on there are just there to socialize, to mingle. There are a lot of people on there that already have someone in their life. They have a significant other. They have a steady, consistent boyfriend or girlfriend. So you have to take that into account and consideration. And the thing about MeetMe.com too, for whatever reason, it seems to draw a number of people that are like solicitors, people with fake profiles. And I think one thing to look out for, I mean, a lot of you may know this, there's a lot of scammers that are in Ghana is one place, Philippines is another place that's notorious for them. and look at somebody friends you on there, and you're somewhat suspicious about it. Well, one thing you could do is you can look up, maybe Google the name and see what comes up, and go from there. If you put in a name and it doesn't even come up on a Google search, and you can't find maybe in the image search where you have a matching face with that one in that's in the profile that is seeking your friendship, then perhaps it's not the person's not legit. It can be very hard to determine fact from fallacy, as far as the excuse me, as far as fake profiles go in this post to real ones. But one thing you want to remember, and this is really to the guys that go on this site, is that some of you may know this, some may not, but if you go on that site and a woman befriends you and sends a friend request, a lot of times those scammers will use they'll use two first names as a first and last name. You might get something like Joan David, for example, and for whatever reason that they keep doing it, they're not as smart as and cunning as what they like to think they are. A lot of people are onto this, but there's some people that unfortunately are very gullible and still will take the friendship, and they'll think that this woman is into him, so on and so forth. But it's called just being assiduous. Just be very prudent about this, people. And I think as far as the Meet Me website goes, I have a few people here and there that maybe will talk or chat on occasion, but there's nothing really. I mean, the chats that I've had, very few have been protracted or sustained on that website. Like I said, it's a website where the majority of people you're not going to meet in real life, and someone may meet some here and there, but like I said, don't go on there thinking that you're going to just automatically meet the love of your life. It just doesn't. I don't really know if it happens that frequently for people out there. There's people out there, sometimes you'll see there'll be a woman on the site and she'll say, okay, I'm just looking for friends only. Now that's cool because she's being honest, she's on the up and up, and hey, honesty's the best policy. But I think what happens is sometimes someone will go on there, a guy will go on, and if the woman doesn't really elaborate or elucidate as far as what she's looking for, the guy may get the wrong idea, and obviously it doesn't go well from there. So if you're on that site, make sure you really emphasize as far as your status, as far as being single or not, if you have a significant other, if you don't, what you're actually looking for. You don't want to lead someone astray inadvertently. So I think that's important to remember as well. But as I stated before, it really seems like it's gotten to a point where there's not that much to do on there as there used to be, due to the lack of not having the games on there anymore. Now they have a couple, which I guess you can call them games, but not the ones that I really revel in or enjoy. They have a match game on there, and what you do is, if you have someone that secretly admires you, what happens is you get like 12 photos, and you get 5 opportunities to guess the right one that's actually viewing you. So, and you could also get into the spotlight, so to speak, and you can have for a certain duration, you could get at the top of the list, and you could have people secretly admire you during that time. Now, the last time I did this, what happened was I was in the spotlight for about 2 hours, and maybe I got somewhere around 15 maybe 15 to 20 people that had admired me. So, and that's, but finding something sustained out of this, like I said, it's very superficial in majority of instances as far as the connection you form with others. And one of the few, there's one person that what me and her have done over a certain period of time, we've kind of just sent each other stickers and stars, and it's been going back and forth for a while. But other than that, I don't even really have much correspondence with that, really anybody on that site, and I do have somewhere around 1,400 friends on there. So, but anyway, people, it's not really being about really that negative or derisive. It's just being realistic when you go on this site. So anyway, people, that'll conclude my YouTube segment for review of MeetMe.com. And until next time, people, Edwin Laird saying, stay well.